Today I'm working on dealing with this air prune bed. These are pawpaws that aren't quite ready, but are showing a little signs of light stress. I had a cap on this box similar, I don't know if you can see that, it's like metal roofing. I had a roof on this, took it off towards the end of the season. You know, with the trees and stuff blocking it out, they'd have enough shade. Looks like they have, you know, this guy's burnt. That looks like a little too much sun, I mean, they're not hurt or anything. They're just not an ideal situation to be sellable for this year. They can go dormant. Plan to heal them in over here. But yeah, we'll work on, these are persimmons and then a yellow bud hickory. And you can see, hopefully, wow, they're called yellow bud. That's not a good representation there. That's good right there. That golden bud right there is how you know this is the bitter nut versus like a shag bark or a shell bark. Even when they're itty bitty, you can tell. Yeah, we'll work on digging these up, getting these uprooted. Got a bucket of water over here. Come along with me. How we do it here, it's no different than most other nurseries around. Living Soil Tree Farm does, everybody that works with air prune beds pretty much do a similar thing. What's interesting about these here persimmons, I'll show you when I get some pulled out. They've pretty much got a unique identifier to them, and I'll do that work on showing you all that right now. Here you go. Here's a good representation of what I'm talking about. Black roots. None of the plants, at least that I've worked with currently, look like this. It's unique to American persimmon as far as I'm aware, but how they look like up here. Little buds. It's a red kind of bark with white lenticels. That's what they would be called on an apple. Not sure what they're called here, but if you can see those white specks all the way up and down the wood. But yeah, American persimmon. That's a 1-year seedling. And as you can see, I've got quite a few more stems to work with here. This is all a breeder's mix that came from, I believe, the Experimental Farm Network. So they could have hybrid seeds in here. Likely that there is some kind of hybridization going on in the mix. But really that means that they're likely to have a larger size fruit with less seeds in them. At least that's what I've seen so far based on the Cliff England series. If you all, I mean, I'm new at this, so if you all have any research or corrections on what I'm saying in terms of the hybrid persimmons, I've not really dealt with them a lot. All I have dealt with are the American persimmons, from wild types to a few cultivars. So yeah, if you guys have any information on what hybrid persimmons could wind up turning into, or what makes them different than an American other than the size of the fruit, that would be fantastic. Leave it in the comment section below. I'm gonna keep on uprooting these stems and get a head count, and we'll be back in here in just a second. Finally got that done. Looks like I got 35 persimmon stems and 4 plantable shagbark hickory. I know this one's kind of ugly, but the way that it's growing, the way that it's growing, I would plant it myself. You could snip this one off right down here and it'll still be a good tree. But yeah, it's about 40 trees and 8 square foot. Plan to sow a little bit denser this year. That wasn't as dense as I would like it to be, but next year it'll be more. So I'm gonna heal these in and cover them up, mulch them in real good, and close this box back up. Well, I guess I could leave the box open now. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this box open now. Just gonna plant these, heal these in, and that's one of many projects left to go in the nursery this fall. I wish those elderberries would lose their leaves, but they don't seem to be wanting to go dormant for me. The ones over here in the box, way over there are. But these guys are as green as a gourd. So, yep, gonna heal these in and we'll see you later. All right, so I'm working in the nursery today. Got some, in this box, there are chinkapins on this left side and bur oaks on this other side. I've had white oaks freeze solid in, say, the refrigerator. It got too close to the vent and froze solid. So I'm not entirely worried about the white oaks freezing to death per se, but I have read research reports where chestnuts will freeze solid below 27 and become unviable because they are in the same genus, the chinkapin and the chestnut. I'm worried that they'll suffer a similar fate. So because of this, I am burying this box. If you can see, the bottom box is all the way down here. So like where my wrist is at, I'm touching, or where my finger is at, I'm touching the bottom of the last box. And then it's about 2 inches above the ground there. So I am raking up a whole bunch of leaves from this pin oak right here, this group of pin cherries, and this silver maple right here, along with that pin oak in the front yard and that little catalpa, pin oak, silver maple, pin cherries. All these guys are, there's like 3 of them right here that are pin cherries. And then there's another, I believe, it's either a silver maple or a hackberry right here by the telephone line. So I'm raking all those leaves up and trying to make an insulation blanket around this box. No need to do it to any of the other boxes in the nursery because they're either empty or contain white oaks. Like I said, I had some dwarf chinkapin oaks actually freeze solid in the refrigerator and they were still viable. They sprouted. I took them out of the refrigerator, left them in room temperature, and they sprouted like 2 weeks. So still quite a few other projects going on in the nursery. I got these pawpaws that need dug up as soon as they've lost their leaves. They're finally starting to show some sign of losing those leaves. The yellow is mainly losing their leaf. This brown type of stuff is, a lot of it can be sun scald, and then the black splotches with white in it is just, I think that's the common fungal disease that pawpaws can get. It can affect the fruit, it can affect the leaves. It doesn't make the fruit inedible, doesn't harm the tree, but it does leave this unsightly kind of appearance on it, the black and white splotches, if that's what I'm thinking. Somebody correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but that's what, pretty sure that's what that is. So it looks like I'm in a frost free zone because we've already had a frost at my farm job and it's killed all of her peppers and eggplants and okras and stuff. But I've still got a few tomato plants that are blooming and didn't die to the frost. It frosted in my yard, but mentioned there's still a few other things that need to happen in the nursery. This aronia right here and this serviceberry back here both need to be dug out. These 4 guys right here are a perennial kaleidoscope kale mix that I got from Experimental Farm Network. Doesn't have to do with the nursery, but planted these guys in the spring. They made it right through the heat of summer. Didn't get ate on too much. This guy's getting ate on a little bit now. Actually, in the spring, once they got about this size, they completely skeletonized them. Kind of the way that this leaf right here looks is how all the plant looked. And then now they're bouncing back. Needed a couple rain sessions and they're back, baby. Some other things that need done in the nursery. These guys are pin cherries right here. I've got an aronia plant, this guy right here. I think this is another, yeah, this is another aronia right here. And then this whole mulberry, that's a big guy. I didn't realize it was gonna get that big in one season, but it did. Let's keep on going. Got a couple gooseberries here. This guy, all these guys right here our gooseberries. I think there's like 6 or 7 plants there. I got some other stuff healed in, some red oaks, some persimmons. These elderberry and these elderberry will need to be dug out. Got quite a few of these. This is a wild type found on the side of the road. Quite productive, but it's a native ecotype. This guy right here is a mix of Scotia, Nova, Marge, and then a elderberry mix from Edible Acres. Now I've also got this elderberry mix. This is an elderberry breeders mix from Experimental Farm Network. Got some Haskap's and 2 service berries right there that'll need to be coming out of their air prune beds shortly. These mulberries right here are about ready. This is a local guy that we found. Me and Whitney, my girlfriend, found these at a park. They were local to us. They were exceptional in terms of the ones that we tasted, so we saved seeds and planted them out. Some elderberry, or some more mulberries. This has got Cornus moss on the far end and 2 dwarf chinkapin oaks underneath of those leaves. There's some persimmons back here that have lost their leaves, really nice. You can't really see them, but there's probably 8 or 10 there. And then I think 10 to 12 service berries. I believe these are alnifolia, which from what I've read are supposed to be the best tasting of the bunch if you can get them from the birds. Yeah, so that's the nursery update this fall. That's what we're working on today. Trying to get that box buried, trying to get these leaves around the yard organized, get some plants dug out of the ground and healed in for the winter time, and gonna rest and recover during the winter and learn as much as we can. See you all next time. This is the final project. Eventually I'm gonna get in there and put a little bit deeper leaves in there, but hopefully this will keep the trees safe during the winter while the ground's freezing and thawing. It's time to go in for some vegetable soup. See you later.